One's a natural, the other's a disaster. Two alien brothers try to master life on Earth. Will they be able to grow as persons? Let's find out, shall we? Episode 597. Hello and welcome to another episode of the Spiraken Manga Review. I'm your host, Zen, saying konnichiwa, aloha, bonjour, and what's up? Hope you're doing good. Hope you're excited for another fun-filled episode of this awesome podcast you can find at www.spiraken.com. We're also on YouTube, Spotify, Stitcher, Blue Skies, and various other social media sites. Just type in SPIRAKN. I'll guarantee you find us one way or the other. And if you are watching on YouTube, remember to like, share, subscribe, and as always, click on the bell for notifications. And with that in mind, let's actually get to it, because if you remember that last episode, I spun that one that only the Wheel of Manga, and it dictated to be there reviewing a Viz manga that has been adapted to a live-action adaptation, and more importantly than that, is only 3 volumes. And what are we talking about? We are talking about Tokyo Alien Bros. This is a story by Keigo Shinzō, who also made Hiro Yasumi, a pretty much a slice of life series, and this is very similar to that, where it is a slice of life, but it is something very different. Because this is the story of 2 brothers, one named Fuyunosuke Tanaka and his brother, who gets a name later on. And this manga is about Fuyunosuke. Fuyunosuke, he is a young man with white hair who is pretty popular. You know, he lives a regular life. One day he's sleeping. A meteorite crashes by him, but he's too busy sleeping with his dog, cats, and numerous pets because he lives a life as a college student. He has friends. He's great in the badminton club, and he's pretty popular. A lot of his colleagues and classmates thinks that he's a flirt, he's a playboy, and he's naturally pretty awesome at everything. But that's not really the truth, because the truth of this is that Fuyunosuke is an alien. He's an alien who's been sent to Earth to scout and find out if this is the perfect planet for his species to colonize. And he's been there for a while. No one's heard from him because he's been enjoying the experience. And as he's going through a typical day, relaxing, meeting people, he doesn't realize that someone is following him, someone unusual, until he ends up going on a date with a girl, which, unfortunately, for reasons I can't show any of the images, but it's a pretty spicy date. And then at the end, someone opens the door and says, "Little brother, what are you doing?" And the girl he's with freaks out because this being that shows up is a slime alien, which is actually Fuyunosuke's real form. He's an alien. And this is his big brother. He's come to watch over him because we haven't heard from him in a while, so he's come to make sure that everything's going on. So he's going to observe and assess the situation so the higher-ups can determine if this is a suitable planet for them to live on. Well, that is what the big brother's thoughts are and what his mission is supposed to be. And so he ends up having to live with his little brother as his little brother teaches him the ways of Earth, of what he thinks it is anyway. And they're both kind of not entirely perfect. They're learning their ways about this. And this is the 2 stories of 2 different individuals as they're trying to navigate what it is to be human and growing as persons through the various experiences they have. And that is the cool part of this story. And you have these 2 brothers who couldn't be any more different because Fuyunosuke has been here a month and he's able to blend in pretty well. He has some snafus, some weird peculiarities, but he can pass them away. Meanwhile, his brother, who takes the name Natsutaro, can't really do that. I mean, for the first 2 weeks, he's just wearing a bathrobe until he figures out you need other clothes. And then he gets other accoutrements, and he has to learn how to smile, how to move, how to eat. And also the dangers of the planet, which is kind of funny because one of their major dangers is salt, which can hurt them, and 70% of the planet is salt water, so yeah. And it's them learning and exploring and meeting people. It's really a fascinating story. And more importantly, it's intriguing as we watch this go on. Some slight spoilers here, I'm not going to go too far, but as Natsutaro starts becoming more human, in the same token, Fuyunosuke ends up going the reverse route and ends up becoming more alien when we discover more of what's going on. And this is the story of brother love, of what is being human, and more importantly, the ups and downs of life. nothing is perfect. And we see these moments, these beautiful insular moments, things like getting your first job, going on a date, getting your first jealousy, discovering a stimulant, the dangers of people. We also see people who are interacting with these alien brothers and how different we see them. I mean, one of the best moments in this series, I think, and it's one of my favorites, is when they decide we don't understand women, so let's pretend to be women. And they go to the first person they see that they think is cool. And this is a person who she has very poor self-esteem. And these two, beautiful women show up and say, hey, we want to hang out with you. And she's like, you're just messing with me. You can't. And then they end up hanging out with her and they build up her self-confidence for a bit. And then she's able to help them. But also she kind of realizes you don't have to do things the same way. The third volume is slightly heartbreaking. A lot happens, but this is a unique story of two brothers. And if you have a sibling, you'll relate to this completely, even though it's kind of a reverse flip. Also, being out of touch, not knowing who you are, and learning. That is what this manga is. It's all about being on this little blue ball called Earth and all the things. It was released as 3 volumes, and it is exceptional. And just like with Haruyasumi, the art is simplistic but beautiful. And also, I do love how the aliens are depicted because they're interesting. They're blob creatures, but they do different things, like when they get attacked by some animals, because it turns out that animals like them. Bad things happen, and you see that they start melting or changing, and that leads to problems later. There is a couple of Deus Ex Machina moments, especially like when they find out one of them was involved in a traffic accident. How they found out who he is the weirdest moment. You're like, how did this happen? We don't know, but it occurs. And that is the crux of this manga now. Is it worth checking out? Is it beautiful? Is it amazing? Yes. Is it action-packed? A little bit. There are some violent moments in this. There are some moments that are spicy. It is something very different. This got adapted into a live-action adaptation, and because of that reason, I have to give this a borrow from a friend, don't return less offered Pocky. This is a manga about growing as a person through experiences. And we've all had shared experiences, and this is seeing it through fresh eyes, and I love that about this. The design work is great, the character design is great, and also there are just so many little moments that you wouldn't expect to see in a manga, like when someone uses a ramen for the first time, popping it open. Them drawing that moment is great. And you love both of them. I mean, at first you're rooting for Fuyunosuke because Tanaka's so weird, but then they flip the switch, and once they flip it over, it becomes Natsutaro who is the hero of the story, and I like that they do that. They make it so that it's unbalanced in a great way. Because also we're rooting for some elements with Fuyunosuke, because when he starts getting frustrated with things, when he sees the darker side of humanity, he's like, I'm getting bored of this. It's like you feel for him because you're like, that's not all it is. You're having a bad day. We can get past this. And that's what this is. It's just growing up. And it is a coming of age slice of life. It is worth checking out. Now, if you've read this and you agree with me, or if you've watched the live action, let me know. Email me, zan@spiraken.com, or tweet me at Spiraken. Let me know your thoughts. I mean, there's so much to this series that's really cool. And I gotta say, I really am liking this one. So let me know your thoughts. Email me, tweet me, comment, hit me up on Blue Skies and all of that. But with that in mind, let's actually get to the manga release of the week, because we've got a lot this week. So starting off from the top, we've got Akira hardcover volume 2. Yes, and then this one is actually the right color. It is blue on the side. We've got Ayla Sometimes Hides Her Feelings in Russian, light novel 2. We've got Banished from the Hero's Party, volume 11. Bocchi the Rock, volume 2 side story. This is going to be Kikiro Hiro's heavy drinking diary. This is about one of the most popular side characters of the series. We've got Bungo Stray Dogs, Danzai Chuya, age 15, volume 4, the final issue. We've got the official release of Cat's Eye by Kana. This is a volume 1 omnibus. We've got City Hunter volume 1, another omnibus. This is the newest release, and this is the first 3 volumes of this series. It looks awesome. We've got Dark History of the Reincarnated Villainess, volume 13. The Darwin Experiment, volume 8. Days with My Stepsister, Volume 4. The Demon Swordmaster of Excalibur Academy, Volume 12. This is a light novel. Duran Key, the final work of Kentaro Mura, finally has been released. The Eminence in Shadow, light novel, Volume 13. Excellent Property Rejects for Residents, Volume 4. Fist of the North Star, Volume 18. Free Life Fantasy Online Immortal Princess, Volume 11. This is the manga. From Memento Mori by Shinosuke Yashitaka. This is a story of a brother and sister who are dealing with an absentee mom. Gacha-chan, Volume 4. This is the final volume of the series. Go For It, Nakamura-kun, Volume 1. Hell is Dark with No Flowers, Volume 3. Hollow Regalia, The End of Eden, Volume 6. Honey Lemon Soda, Volume 10. How to Be Relationship, Volume 13. I Abandoned My Engagement, Volume 4. I Don't Know How to Love, Volume, and this is a one-shot. I'm the Villainess, So I'm Taming the Final Boss, the final volume, number 11. I Think I Turned My Childhood Friend Into a Girl, Volume 9. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Steel Ball Run, Volume 3. Kaiju Kamui, Volume 1. Last Samurai Standing, Volume 2. Love Between Devil and Fairy, Kangli Ju, Book 2. Licorice Recoil, Volume 1. Magical Buffs, The Support Caster is Stronger Than He Realizes, Volume 4. The Masterful Cat is Depressed Again Today, Volume 10. Maruko-chan, Volume 11. Monster Guild, The Dark Lord's No Good Comeback, Volume 9. Monster Marriage Shop, Volume 4. Monthly in the Garden with My Landlord, Volume 5. I believe this is also the final volume of this series. A lot of final volumes this week. The Most Heretical Last Boss Queen from Villainous to Savior, Volume 9. My Beloved Supper, Volume, I believe this is Volume 3. My Girlfriend's Not Here Today, Volume 5. My Instant Death Ability is So Overpowered, No One in This Other World Stands a Chance Against Me, Light Novel, Volume 9. My Oh My Tommy-kun, Volume 3. My Unique Skill Makes Me OP Even at Level 1, Volume 9. Nana and Karu, Black Label, Volume 1. This is the sequel to Nana and Karu. Nights with a Cat, Volume 6. No Longer Heroine, Final Volume, 10. Painter of the Night, Book 1. The Reformation of the World as Chosen by a Realistic Demon King, Volume 7. This is a light novel. Rock to a Lady's Modesty, Volume 1. Shadow Eliminators, Volume 1. Sheeta's Little Big World, Volume 1. She Professed Herself Pupil of the Wise Man, Novel 14. Spy Classroom Short Story Collection 4. Spy Classroom Second Period, Volume 2, the final volume. Stomp, Kick, Love, Volume 3. Sweet Heat Before Falling in Love, The CEO and His Fated Omega, Volume 2. The Teen Exorcist, Volume 3. That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime, light novel number 27. The Tiger Won't Eat the Dragon Yet, Volume 6. To Sir Without Love, I'm Divorcing You, Volume 2. Toga Oni, and I believe this is Volume 7. The Valiant Must Fall, Volume 5. Wakaku Won't Give Up, Volume 1. What Do You Call This Trash? And then last and certainly not least, we've got What It Means to Be You, Volume 2. So these are the manga releases for the week. We've got some really great ones, some really poignant ones, and a lot of final volumes. And my one honorable mention for this week before I share my top 5 is going to be Rock is a Woman's Modesty, because that is based on one of the coolest manga from Haidai that's so crazy, and it is just balls to the wall nuts, the anime. So the manga is going to be exceptional, I think. But here are my top 5 for the week. And we've got Cat's Eye Volume 1 and City Hunter Volume 1. These two, I was super excited for it to be released, and more importantly, I was nerdy enough to buy both of them immediately. I have them both in my possession right now, and they look great. They come with dust jackets, and it's really cool. Duran Key, I'm waiting for. That is the final project that Kentaro Mura did before he died. He was still working on Berserk, but this is his last other project. So this is something I wanted to check out. Kaiju Kamui is a modern kaiju fighting story. Looks really cool. And then Shadow Eliminators, there's a little bit of buzz around it. I want to see if it's worth checking out. but these are the manga releases for the week. Let me know which ones you're most excited about, or the ones that you definitely want to check out, or which ones do you think you're sad that are ending. Let me know. Leave a comment down below or email me at zan@spiraken.com. And before we go any further, thanks for checking out this series. Every email I get, every comment I get, every new follower gives me more motivation to keep doing this podcast. I love doing this. I want to keep going, so just keep giving me motivation to do this. So thank you so much. We are 2 away from episode 600, and I am excited because we're going to be at 598 soon. So we are actually 3, but we're getting there. We got 2 more, then we're episode 600. So I am excited to see what we're going to be reviewing. So with that in mind, keep checking this series out, this podcast out. And let's actually get to the part that you've all been waiting for, the most important part of this podcast. So what are we talking about? We're talking about that one, that only, the Wheel of Manga! Yes, friends, a Wheel of Manga, except no substitute. What is the Wheel of Manga? The Wheel of Manga is a Wheel of Fortune with 10 slots on it. What I've done is I've assigned a manga title to each of the 10 slots. So we're going to spin the wheel. Whatever number it lands on, whatever manga is in that section is the one we're going to review in the next episode of the Spiraken Manga Review, episode 598. And to top it off, because these 2 Kana releases have geeked me out so much and I want to check them out, and since our reviews of them were so long ago, I mean, Cat's Eye was in the 200s, and then Cal reviewed City Hunter all the way back in 104. So that's over 400 episodes ago. We might review it again. So we're going to spin this, see what we're going to review the next episode, and whenever it lands on, that's what we're going to review. Fingers crossed. Number 7. Didn't expect this one to be done. Number 7, Tenmaku Cinema, the story of ghosts and movies. Is it going to be good? Is it going to be bad? I don't know. We're going to find out. But anyway, hope you enjoyed this episode. As usual, I am your host, Zan. I am Gonzville. I'll catch you guys next time. Hope you enjoyed and keep reading manga. See you later.